Hey, good to see you again. This is your boy, your men's life coach, Rolando. I hope you guys are having a great day. I just wanted to talk to you today on the theme Freedom Friday. You know, guys, one of my favorite reggae music artists, Bob Marley, he said this: emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. As a man, are you free? Are you experiencing the joy of psychological and emotional health? Are you doing the things that are necessary that's going to help you to achieve your goals? Or are you struggling? Do you find it difficult in your relationships? Do you find that you are really having issues to deal with the pain of your past? Well, I hope that as you watch this video, you will gain some insight about ways that you can be free. Why? Because it's important for you and for me to be free. A little bit about myself. I was raised in an environment where I was exposed to a lot of grief, trauma. There were, of course, times in my life when I did not know what to do. I could not relate to those feelings that I was having. I did not understand why I had nightmares. I did not understand why I struggled in some of my relationships, both personal and interpersonal relationships. As I grew older and I started to get more engaged in studying, I started to learn that there are oftentimes a lot of things that happens in our lives as men that because of the perception of society, we were not facing up to the reality that I am being impacted because of an incident that occurred in my life. It could be a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It could have happened to you when you were much smaller. And so now here you are and you find it difficult. You're struggling. You're wondering, why is it that I cannot feel free? I get angry and I can't explain it. I struggle to trust people around me. I'm very impulsive. I walk around with this feeling in my head that it's just one man against the world. You struggle to have good long-lasting relationship with your kids because some way you just don't know how. It's not something that you were exposed to. And you ask the question, how can I be free? How can I acquire the skills necessary that's going to help me to be free? So I want to speak with you a little bit about some things that you can do to experience that freedom. We have to remember that freedom is not something that happens out of our imagination. If you want to be free, you have to make the choice to be free. You have to decide to do what it takes if you want to be free. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever it is that you're dealing with, if you want to be free, you have to make a choice to first acknowledge what is happening in your life that is preventing you from being free. You know, one of the things that I learned over time, and yes, I've learned this over time, that one of the greatest gifts that you have and that I have is the gift of choice. So if I want to be free, I have to choose. If I want to be free from an addiction, I have to choose. If I want to be free from aggression, I have to choose. If I want to be free from being an addict to porn or gambling or womanizing, I have to choose to be free. So if you want to be free, one of the first things that you've got to do is you have got to make that conscious effort and Make that choice to be free. Secondly, if you really want to be free, you have to acknowledge that something is not going right. I did not say something is wrong with you. I'm saying acknowledge that there's something that's not going right. So the next thing that you need to do if you want to be free is there's got to be an acknowledgement that something is just not going right and something needs to be different. So then what do? The recommendation is sit down and do some reflection. Look at the things that you're doing that is not helping you. Look at the things that you're doing that is interfering with your ability to live your best life. Look at the things that you have been holding on to that you could do without. So you need to ask yourself this question. What are some of the things that I'm doing right now that is within my control that's not working and needs to change? I would like you to pause and just reflect on that question, because that question puts you in a position where you can implement change by yourself through a conscious effort. So, did you capture the question? Let me repeat the question for you again. What are some of the things that I'm doing that is within my control that's not working and needs to change? I hope you caught it the second time around. If not, just play back this video and you'll get it. Don't worry. Sometimes we have to repeat these questions. It's a little bit long, right? But there's a purpose. There's a purpose in the question. So firstly, we talk about number one, making that choice to change so that you can be transformed. Number two, it is an acknowledgement of what is not working that needs to change. And number three, if you want to be transformed, you have to be willing to ask for help. Yes, that's your favorite part, eh? It's my favorite part too. And why it's my favorite part is that years ago, I remember that I struggled with that. I really struggled. I didn't want to ask for help. Why? Because I am a man. I was supposed to work my shit out by myself. Yes? But, as we evolve, as we grow, as we become more mature, we have to come to that place where we realize that being a man and being mature is not about age. It's not about size. It's about the intent and the acknowledgement. It's about not just growing up physically, but growing up psychologically and growing up emotionally, which means asking for help. One of the greatest strengths that you have and that I will ever have as a man is to step out of our comfort zone and say to somebody, I need your help. That's powerful. When you're able to step out of your comfort zone and say to somebody, I need help, that is when you will experience change. That's when you'll experience transformation. And so I continue to tell you guys that it's very important and it's very vital that if you're going to experience transformation, you start by working on those three things. Number one, make the choice to do something different. Number two, an acknowledgement. And number three, asking for help. Thank you so much for joining us here again in xyspark. This is your men's life coach, your boy Rolando. If you need to reach out to us and connect with us for more suggestions, more ideas, then you can click on the link. You can like, subscribe, and please, guys, don't forget, share this with your network, because there are more men like you and like me who need these tools in order to grow. One of our mothers here at xyspark is remembering that personal development is not an event, it's a lifestyle. And so, in order to experience that lifestyle, we have to seek to do that which is necessary every single day so that we can grow and evolve to become better. Thank you for joining us here on xyspark. And we continue to remind you that at xyspark, we believe that there is a spark in you. We will see you again in our next video.